that my cows will not be vaccinated. You'll excuse my speech today because I have a small disability in my mouth, but I'll attempt to maybe put my message across. The issue of vaccine is something which is very, very important. And what we've learned during the entire exercise, although I can still stand here very strongly and say I never allowed my cows to be vaccinated, there was a huge disconnect between the DVS and the county government in regards to passing the information on the vaccines which were coming out, mostly which were FMD. Mr. Speaker, this House has been set up to defend devolution. And when you see that there's a function that is supposed to be carried out by the county government, but the national government is the one which is raising so much hullabaloo on it, then we in this House must be very, very careful so that we do not lose our functions, especially for our county governments. It is imperative, Mr. Speaker, that Dr. Alan Nasangele, who is the DVS, come before the Agricultural Committee to be able to provide full information on the FMD vaccines. I remember one day I was having a conversation with the Cabinet Secretary, the new Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture, and he said something which was very important to me. He said that if these drugs or these vaccines are to be imported, there has to be a demonstration that from the country which they are being imported from, they are being used by those animals. Later on, when I continued talking to him, he insisted that these vaccines are produced locally, they are manufactured locally by Kevivapi. So it is important that our county governments, very, very important, that our county government develop extension workers who can then be able to educate livestock farmers on on the policy of the Ministry of Agriculture when it comes to the issue of vaccination, and also on the kind of vaccines which were being carried out. I inquired heavily on this matter. And this is why I'm so passionate about the issue of livestock. And I was told that the type of vaccines which were going to be rolled out were two of them. One is FMD, and the other one was a PPR, which was mostly for the sheep and goat. The problem, and this is where we go wrong in this country, the problem is lack of communication, proper communication, such that you don't get a buy-in from the professionals. So I appreciate Senator Chute for raising this matter so that we can be clear. If indeed Kevivapi are the ones who produce these vaccines, it will be important for the health committee to be able to go in to Kevivapi facilities, see the entire process. Because, Mr. Speaker, there's a lot which is being discussed worldwide about the issue of vaccines. When you hear Bill Gates saying that these cows need to be vaccinated so that they stop fatting, it worries us. So really, for us, it is imperative that we are educated. And now, our county government must take their role seriously. Earlier on, Mr. Speaker, we're in the Health Committee, and we are looking at the budget of the Health Committee. And when we are going through the budget of the Ministry of Health, you realize that there's a presidential directive that has directed the Ministry of Health to be able to build sub-county health centers. When you look at the Schedule 4 of the Constitution, that is a function for county governments. And one of the things that was a bit vexing is the fact that one county, Uasin Gishu County, was being allocated 700 million when my own county of Narok is getting zero. So really, we just have to very selfishly guard devolution and protect devolution. So this issue of vaccine, Mr. Speaker, it is something that the Council of Governors should have taken over. Because even if the DVS is the one that coordinates, but the implementation is carried out by the county councils, by the county governments. So when farmers are saying, what is happening? And even us who are their ombudspersons cannot be able to tell them that this is what is going on, then our communication leads a lot to be desired and must change. So it's important to actually note that currently as a country we do not have any foreign FMD manufacturer registered in this country. So if indeed we are dealing with the issue of FMD, we now have to dwell deeper into the issues of the borders. Because if we take care of our cows in country, what about the cows and sheep and goat that come from our neighboring country, Somalia? What about the cows and sheep and goat that come from Ethiopia? What about the ones that come from Tanzania? So these are things that all of us must really be alive to. So I hope that when the Committee on Agriculture is going to be investigating the issues that Senator Chuta has raised here, it can actually visit Kevivapi. And I hope that also that Dr. Alan Asegele, the DVS, can pull up his socks and issue out communication, sensitize the professionals, so that when these professionals are going into the field, they can be able to educate our people. Finally, Mr. Speaker, there are a lot of fake parasites, a lot of fake animal vaccines in this country. You will find that nowadays, people have moved away from the traditional dips where they used to be able to, put the parasite in so that it can be able to kill all the ticks, the blue tick that is affecting the cows. I think it's about time now that the county government start rehabilitating the old dips so that we can control these diseases. These pumps which are being sold in the market nowadays, some of them are from China, some of them are being made from any other part of the world. You come, you use them, they are not even effective. The control of the parasites is also not being controlled effectively. So the DVS must actually now take charge to see that we can be able to control these diseases, animal diseases in this country. We cannot survive without livestock. I'm sure Mheshimiwa Chute cannot survive without the sheep. I was in Marsabit once, and there were like almost 10,000 sheep being taken care of by one person, and goats. Neither can I survive without the cows. So this is something that it's important for us to work together to know what is our capacity. I like that question. How much can we produce locally? And since this is a function of county governments, can we then now talk to Kevivapi to be able to set up stations across the counties so that even it can be able to buy in and get the approval from the farmers? So this is a very good statement, quite timely, and I hope that all of us, including myself, when we get the report from the Committee of Agriculture, we can be convinced maybe to accept for our cows to be vaccinated. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Veronica Ndwati.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to support the statement that has been brought to this House by Senator Mohammed Said Chute, the Senator for Marsabit County,